So Noah, it's a pleasure to meet you. First of all, before we get into the coin flip, just so I know a little bit more about you for my viewers, tell me a little bit about your personal story. You were deployed twice into Iraq, is that right?
Yeah, I joined the military right after 9/11. Served the 101st out of Fort Campbell, Kentucky. It was the initial invasion of Iraq in 2003. Spent a year there. My second deployment was towards the end of 2005, and 3 months into the deployment, I was hit by a roadside bomb December 19th of 2005, and woke up Christmas morning in a hospital in D.C. unaware of what had happened.
How'd you get involved with Lima Foxtrot?
I got involved with Lima Foxtrot and Lakeshore in general through word of mouth. Someone mentioned to my mother that I should come and look into it. It being that, you know, I was missing my arm and my leg. And when I showed up to Lakeshore in 2006, I mean, my first impression was just of the building itself, and I was very impressed. And then, you know, I'd found out about their camps and got involved with it, and the difference that it makes in someone, you know, that has been injured in my life, you know, getting, you know, back into physical activity and being shown how to do it even with an injury.
When someone like myself meets you and says thank you and calls you a hero, how does that make you feel?
Well, I mean, you know, when I have, you know, it being that I have a visible injury, I have a lot of people that are very nice and stop me and thank me, and it's really nice. And I mean, you know, then you have people that say hero, but, you know, that's, you know, it's not a difficult thing to get blown up in Iraq or Afghanistan, so I don't think that makes you a hero. But it means a lot when people just say thank you.
I would say that it's a heroic thing to go into the unknown and defend the people that don't necessarily know what freedom is. I would say that's heroic. Well,
you know, I would say, you know, I'm always proud to point out that I served with some very impressive heroes. I mean, those guys that I lived and fought with in Iraq, those guys are heroes. You know, I've lost some good friends, and I've got some good friends that are still in or have gotten out of the military, and I consider those guys heroes.
What does it mean to continue to have an active lifestyle here at Lakeshore and to show others that are just coming to terms with their injuries that you can still be active and have a very good life?
Well, you know, even before I was injured, I felt strongly that fitness is all of, you know, it makes you happier in life. And that was something that I always did. I was always, you know, that guy that was in the gym, working out, trying to stay fit. And it was difficult when I was injured, accepting the injury and then moving past it, but then being shown how to work out, you know, being shown how to work out and move past it. You know, I'm at a point in my life now where I'm in great shape. I like to compete against able-bodied people, and sometimes, a lot of times I do better than some of them. And I'm extremely happy. I feel good about myself, you know, physically, mentally, emotionally, everything. And that's all because I've gotten into shape, and that's because of Lakeshore Foundation.
When you start going out and talking to people about Lima Foxtrot, what's the first thing you want them to know?
First thing I'd want people to know about Lima Foxtrot is, you know, there's a lot of great organizations out there that work with veterans and injured veterans, but the thing that Lakeshore has is they have always worked with people with disabilities, and they have, you know, those on staff that have disabilities or are Paralympians. And it's easy for someone who hasn't been injured to tell me or someone like me to just, you know, you got to move forward, you got to push on. But when you have someone that has been injured as well, and you've seen what they've accomplished, it kind of takes all the excuses away. And I think that's what we need. Sometimes when you're injured, you get hung up on this, well, I can't do that anymore. You get hung up on this, I can't do that anymore. But you see someone that says, you know, it can be done, and it's a nice little swift kick in the butt to get you moving.
Noah, when did you find out that you were selected to participate in this coin toss?
A couple weeks ago, I had gotten a phone call, and they were asking if I wanted to do the coin toss, and I thought, what kind of question is that? Of course I want to go to the game and go to the coin toss, and so that was very exciting to hear.
You were selected from the Lakeshore Foundation to represent. You've been involved with the program for a long time. What do you hope that, as you're down there on the field, that you inspire? Do you hope that just by being there that people will be inspired to look more into the program?
Well, yeah, I think that, one, I was excited when the SEC partnered up with Lakeshore. I mean, that gives us, more people are going to hear about it because it takes, everyone, the community, to keep a program going. And with the SEC partnering up, that was incredible. And then being at the game and it being put out in front of a whole stadium of fans, I'm hoping people will go home and look into it and see what's going on here and the benefits that injured veterans like myself are getting from it.
Now, just so that we have it on the record, you're actually a Bama guy.
I am. I'm a huge Alabama fan, and actually, I didn't know until this, it was still uncertain to this past weekend whether I was taking my wife to the game or my best friend Jerry, who was actually in the vehicle with me when I got injured, who lives in Georgia, is a huge Georgia fan. But we wanted to make sure if Alabama was going to be in the game, my wife was like, I'm going. She and I are both huge Alabama fans, but now they're not in it, and she's sacrificing, not going to the game, even though she'd still like to go. Now Jerry's going with me.
And that's got to be pretty special for you that Jerry gets to be there with you.
It is. It's I'm excited that we're going to spend a couple of days hanging out, and he's getting the chance to go to the game, as he's being that we served in Iraq together and we're injured together. I mean, we have this close bond, and I'm really looking forward to it.
What do you sort of see happening in this game? Do you think that it's going to be a tight game? Is it going to be a blowout?
I think you could argue it either way, but I just don't think Georgia has a chance against LSU. And me personally, I'd like to see LSU win and Alabama make the national championship and then Alabama beat LSU. And it'd be more impressive if Georgia continues to win up until that point.
Yeah, there you go. Well, man, it's been a pleasure getting a chance to meet you and getting to share a little bit of your story out here.